Welcome back to Plain and Simple Projects. Today we're going to talk through the basic process of changing the oil on a 2017 Honda Odyssey. See the front hood of the vehicle here. And the first thing we're going to do is basically we run the vehicle, we'll get the oil warmed up for us so it can again, come out of the engine like we want. So we'll open up you'll open up, it's actually right down here on the side. You see that right here? That's where the latch is for it. You hear it? So we got that pulled. I'm gonna pop the hood. Okay. Pull it up here. There's a it's hard to see it from right here, but there's a lever. You just pull that lever up, and then this hood comes up like this. Okay. So once it's up, we will pull this piece out and put it right up here, and then that will hold our piece. So we'll do that right now. Actually, here it is. Let's put this piece here. Okay, so I got that started. Here it is. Next thing we'll do is pull out our pan, put it underneath the oil pan, and then we'll let it drain. Alright, so back underneath the vehicle, a couple things I want to point out here. You know, obviously with an oil change, it's one of the easiest ways to save a few dollars. You know, usually an oil change is anywhere from $30 to $50 with the oil and filter. Today we're just doing the oil. I usually rotate the filter every couple of changes, so you'll notice on the filter boxes that they give you a mileage estimate for how often those need to be changed. They don't have to be changed quite as frequently as the oil. So a couple other tips I use is I really prefer to use gloves. I use gloves like this if I can. It just keeps that most of the oil off your hands. It can get kind of greasy and a little dirty, so this helps a lot. And we're underneath the car, a lot of sharp parts of the car, so this protects your hands from getting car rash or whatever it is. So the first thing we're going to do now that we're underneath the car here is we need to jack it up. So this is the jack I have here. It's just a standard pull jack, and we pull this out so you can kind of see what we have to do here. So we have to find the jack point for the vehicle, and for this one on the front we typically use this ring. You can see this ring right here. So I'm going to point to it for you. That's it. Okay, nothing like a trusty camping light to help illuminate this for a little bit for us. So you can see the hook again a little bit better. I just picked the bottom of that hook. I'll just kind of jiggle this around. You'll notice a lot of these jacks have a kind of a floating piece in there to allow it to grab or kind of fit around whatever you're jacking. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is in the middle of it so that doesn't slide off. And we'll continue to pump this up here. Just take a lot of pressure and kind of see how that's moving. Usually I take it as far as it will go with a jack like this. Just give me as much clearance as possible to make it more comfortable underneath the vehicle. A couple notes, you know, as I jack this up here, is I'll get some floor stands, which I highly recommend, because if this thing does fail, it's always nice to have something for it to fall onto, which wouldn't be you. And so that floor stand makes a big difference. So let me finish jacking this up and then we will put the floor stands on. Okay, it's fully jacked up. See, this is at its full extension in the range. And I wanted to show you kind of where we'll be pulling out the oil from this. But let me get the floor stands first, and we'll put those on, and then we'll kind of explore the underside here a little bit. Okay, back with the floor jacks, or the floor stands. Kind of see there's just AC Delco, just real basic. As long as they're rated to carry the load of your vehicle, you can see here what it's rated for. Then there we go. That's an English jack stands. Tells you this is 4,000 pounds, 2 tons. So as long as that's rated for the vehicle you're working on, it should be good to go. So I've got this jacked up. I want to point out here this part right here. So that is the kind of a pinch point. That's a pretty good structural point I use usually to put the floor stand on. So I'll do that here. Just lift it up. No one, There we go. And really, like I said, we're just trying to protect ourselves in case this lift does fail, that it won't fall just right onto us. So there it is on the pinch point there. And now we'll do the other side with this one. Pinch point right there. I usually just lift this as far as I can and then have it sit there. So that way it protects me in case it does fail, like I said before. Alright, so now that we're underneath, we got it jacked up, we got this light here, and we feel safe. Let's talk about where the oil is and where we drain this. So today, in this particular oil pan, you see it says engine oil right here. Pretty straightforward. It's still warm. That's to be expected. That's what we want actually before we change the oil in this. You can see the little nut, or the little nut right there. That's the plug for the engine oil. So that's what we're going to go ahead and remove, and then that will drain the oil out into our oil pan. Okay, here's our well-used, well-loved pan. I'm going to put this back on. It's been drained. Got that going for us. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out here because I want it to drain. Sometimes that can be problematic if it's still in there when it's trying to drain. So we'll push it. Set this underneath the plug, and remember, when the oil drains out, you'll see it'll come out, but it won't come just straight down. It's gonna come out a little bit. So just keep that in mind as you place the pan, that it'll be able to catch that oil as it comes out. It might even hit part of the frame here. So that's why these pans are so big. Try to catch that oil. Okay, back underneath the vehicle here, and we have a ratchet. 17 millimeters, what this takes on this particular vehicle. So we'll come slide underneath the vehicle like this, so that we are comfortable. And it places on here. And we just always got to remember it's lefty loosey righty tighty. So we want to go this way. And there we go, initial pull there. Usually once you get the initial kind of twist on the bolt, then it's pretty easy to take care of the rest of it. So I can just hand twist it if I need to, it looks like. So now I try to, it'll be okay. I kind of stuck on here a little bit, but that's okay. We'll put that off when I kind of twist it. Keep twisting, kind of see what it looks like now. It's coming out slowly. There it goes. That's why I wear the gloves, so. Okay. Okay. Now that's draining. It's dripping down now on that pan. It flowed for pretty hard for a little while, but I just want to kind of show you the bolt we have here. You can kind of see what it looks like. Kind of wipe it down, and that's what it is. Just a crush washer. That's what that is on there. I think you're supposed to replace it usually, the crush washer. If mine's in good shape, you know, I actually can't tell the difference between a new one and one that's been used, but I'll usually use it. I think it's to protect the oil pan. So anyway, if you tighten it on too tight, I think the idea is this is supposed to crush, but I actually don't really know for sure what that's for. But I know that you're just supposed to have it. So, and I have seen some vehicles that don't have it and the oil holds fine. But here's the drain plug. So clean this up, probably reuse this crush washer because it looks fine to me, and then we'll put it back on. Alright, so we have our piece and our crush washer. So I'm going to put this back on here like this. Like that. Alright, so get back underneath. And gotta find where the oil was. It's back further there. Okay. Alright, so I've got this oil here, and you can kind of see how they've got the bar. I like this on these containers when they do this. You can see where it stops. So I put in about just a little, it's a little over 4. The capacity with the filter change is 4.2 on this particular model. And because we're doing a filter change, this change, then I did a little bit less than that, so about 4. Should be fine, and we don't want to go over our max since it might put pressure on the gaskets, or different parts of the engine might come in contact with oil that might be too high in the pan. So anyway, went with this right here. We'll let it kind of drain, take that out, and then we'll check the oil level after we run the engine.